that will set the path for technology for the next decade.
I don't know about that.
Let's just rewind a little bit.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years.
You see, when Apple launched the first iPhone, it was revolutionary. But now, with the iPhone X, it's not quite revolutionary. That path is quite obvious. It's evolutionary, right? And this is the issue that we have with most of the big brands right now, is that they're only making incremental changes. There's nothing groundbreaking, no groundbreaking or innovative ideas. That thing seems to have been lost now, and we need to bring that back.
You see, the burning question for most CEOs, for upper management and for board members is, how do we create a department, or how do we create this culture of groundbreaking ideas and innovation? But the ultimate myth, and I strongly believe this, is that people tend to think that you've got to pump millions and millions into an R&D department and you've got to find all these geniuses and rock stars out there. But the reality is, every human being is capable of coming up with really good ideas. But they're only going to do that when they're very relaxed in themselves and when they're operating in their higher self and when they're feeling the most creative. And without that, if you don't create a culture where employees feel relaxed, they feel like they have the time to be able to do the work that needs to be done, because good ideas take a long time to develop and, refine and iterate. Those ideas, those really good ideas, just aren't going to come to the surface. And what you tend to find in most organizations is,
you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Everybody's basically covering their back. The junior employee is worried about their job, and even though they're really frustrated or they feel that there's something better that can be done, they're not going to speak up because they're worried about their kids and they're worried about their wife and they're worried about their mortgage and they don't want to get sacked. They'll just move on to somewhere else where somebody might be accepting those ideas. And this is also why we get a lot of talent exodus as well. But if you can create a culture where you can get a group of people together that are incredibly frustrated, frustrated with the status quo, and they don't feel like that you're always going to be drilling down on their back, then those ideas will start coming to the surface. And as you get a group of people that you already have coming together and working in harmony and working in synergy, those good ideas are going to start to flow. But you've got to have the courage as a leader of an organization to allow those kind of ideas to flow. And unfortunately, when we're in a position of leadership, we've got so many other things to worry about. We've got operations to worry about. We've got shareholder value to worry about. We've got the brand image and the PR image, and we've got all those things that are consuming us. And that doesn't leave us enough capacity and enough mental energy. It doesn't leave enough left over to allow the space for the employees to just get together and keep on tinkering and keep on iterating until they can come up with something really good.
Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world.
I remember when Steve Jobs, there's this report that's come out a number of times, and I don't know if it's only a rumor or if it's actual truth, but it would make sense to me. It's congruent with the way that Apple were operating under Steve Jobs. That when the first iPhone was launched, it just wasn't quite good enough. It just wasn't up to scratch. And they had to spend, a whole year going back to the drawing board and then improving on that even more. But when you're worried about shareholder value and when you're worried about the image and you're worried about just getting stuff done, there's a task list that's being done, that doesn't leave any room for you to go back and really perfect things and really take it, really push ideas through the ceiling. And that's what it really boils down to. There's a lot more to this in terms of the implementation and the process, but ultimately that's what it boils down to. The way that interaction takes place between management and staff, that dynamic that takes place. The employee has to feel like that you're not always going to be on their case. That if they make a mistake, they make a failure, they come up with a groundbreaking idea and it just doesn't happen to work, they're not going to have to worry about their job. And if that fear can dissipate and that fear can go, and that's just a change in management style, it's just a change in the dynamic of interaction, then those ideas will start coming to the surface. That's all it really takes. But you don't necessarily need geniuses in your organization. Everybody is a genius, only when they're given a chance.